So, Debbie, your team is made up of women. How is that in your office?
I didn't set out to end up that way. It just evolved, and it has remained that way. And I don't really know how a male would survive in our office. It is just what it has become. But I think it just works, and I think we have certain skill sets that in our business work really well and allow us to create great relationships with our clients and do our role really, really well. But yeah, I'd love to see a guy come in and spend a few days with us actually. But it does, the benefits of it are, we can talk about anything we really like without, girl stuff, without rolling your eyes. Sorry, Randy. But yeah, it hasn't been intentional, but it probably looks like that from the outside. But they're a really great bunch of girls.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you could tell 10-year-old you anything.
That question wasn't on the list.
I'm sneaky that way.
That's easy for me. Something I referred to later, and I think Craig McGregor asked me that same question in a podcast. It would be to just back yourself and have belief in yourself, because I know I held myself up for most of my life, and it wasn't till I hit that older part of my life that actually blossomed. I feel in my career, or probably in general, and I should have just backed myself and had more faith in what I was capable of.
Excellent. Amanda?
I had a rather stern old grandfather that raised me for a lot of my life, and I didn't get some of the comments he used to say to me when I'm 9 and 10 years old, and he used to say to me, don't settle for less when you can be the best. And he said to me one day, he used to get Meals on Wheels, and this lady came to the door, and she was chatty, and she was a larger lady, and I was about 10, and I remember saying to my pop, wow, she delivers the food all the time, I hope she doesn't eat it all. At 10, and my old 92-year-old grandfather sat me down and said to me, you're not dead yet. And at 10-year-old I thought, you silly old bugger, what's wrong with you? But I got that, and I think the best advice, that advice was fantastic at 10, but to actually get to know yourself. 90% of the people that I coach, and I coach insurance brokers all around Australia, the biggest issue they have is they don't even know them, they can't accept them. How on earth can you help anyone else when you don't even accept or know yourself? And I think when you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself, that's when you really start to thrive in life. So yeah, just, know yourself and be okay with it.
Nicky?
My 10-year-old self, I wished I'd told myself just to be me, just not to be someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's daughter. Just being comfortable with you. I'm 40, I'm not telling you how old I am, but I'm getting there.
You got someone next to you that's really, really good at maths. She can recalculate it for you.
No, it's okay. I'm sure she knows.
Well, thank you so much, lady. Does anybody have any sort of questions they'd like to ask of our panel?
I've got a question for Deb. Deb, winning bookkeeping business nationally of the year, which was a couple of years back?
2017.
Yep. How did that change or impact on your business growth afterwards?
I purposely didn't leverage off that massively, because I've always been a grow slowly, grow organically, rather than grow super fast and lose control of being good at what we do. The biggest impact it had on us, and I'm not an award, I don't chase awards, and we were nominated for that, and I almost didn't apply for it, but I did it, and I'm really glad that I did it, the whole process of it. The biggest benefit out of that was seeing what it meant to the rest of the team. That moment where we were at the Whistler celebrating as a team, I just remember sitting there really quietly to myself, just watching the girls around me, and it was a really priceless moment, and that to me was the best part out of that.
Would you welcome, if your kids said, I want to do exactly what you did, Mum, would you welcome them to your industries?
Yeah, I'm going to go in a heartbeat. My 19-year-old son actually finished school and came into work for me. And insurance is not a sexy subject. It's even hard to make sexy.
Yeah, but it's got teeth.
Yeah,
Got teeth.
that's exactly right. And yeah, look, the generation of today, anyone that's got teenagers, I'm sure you'll agree, they're challenging. That's probably a nice thing to say. But my industry, yeah, look, it's a fantastic industry. It's doing a lot of change and as far as women in business as well. And you can go as far as you want in the insurance industry. So yeah, look, I would definitely welcome young people into it. In fact, that's probably where I'm heading with the coaching side, to empower the youth of today to have that genuine care factor that the old 80-year-old brokers have had. And that's been lost over the generations. So yeah, most definitely I think I would welcome them.
I would, if that's what she wanted to do. You said daughter, didn't you? Or child?
Child.
Okay, either. I would if that's what they really wanted to do, because I think it's important to love what you do. If she did, if she, or I know Will wouldn't want to, so that's why I'm saying she is in my daughter. If she did, I'd want to share a lot with her, and I'd hope like I could share some things that held me back that would let her go forward faster.
Hell no.
I love your opinion.
Sorry. No, I wouldn't. I would not advise them to buy a motorbike shop. When we did, look, if only you could go back in time. It was meant to be easy, right?
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, well, it's definitely challenging. We deal, look, online shopping for us is such an issue that we have to compete with. I would say, no, start an online store. Would I want them to do it? They would never work for me.
I think that's a really good distinction.
Yeah.
As well. It's like, I love you, happy to put you in the industry, but you won't work with me.
We tried it and it failed because you can't, it's really hard to have your children work for you and treat them any different to anyone else, except they still want to be a child. So no, I would say go and find something else to do.
Fair enough. Very good. Well, thank you ladies for your time today. It's really been quite enlightening and quite amusing being on that journey.
There was always going to be.
You've done well. You can take a bottle away from her now. Yeah. We have some lovely flowers that our lovely Melissa will be presenting.
24 years of marriage last week, so I got flowers. She's over the flowers. Getting a bit spoiled. Thank you. You can, just not in front of everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing it all the time.
What very little I have of it. Just to see just the comments. It's like most of it. Did you see our
Just one last chance, guys. Is there any questions, thoughts?
I'm not sure if I'll be able to because I can talk and sit at the same time. And my question is, you guys are all strong, powerful, I'll get back here, strong, powerful women working in a regional setting. How do you think that works compared to being a woman working in the city? Do you think there's any difference between regional and city?
Oh, yes.
Can I?
Yeah.
Straight on.
And it's great to work in Maitland.
I'm learning this multi-skilled multitasking here with my flowers between my legs. I think that's probably not I think it's probably easier to stand out from other people in a regional area than it is to in a city. I think you'd get lost in a city. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the attitude and the environment around you in the country, even employing people now. My last two brokers that I employ clean skins usually and train them my way. And the last two that I've employed, I have deliberately employed from the country. So one come from Guyra and the other one come from Armidale. And I think it's the environment around you. Women are just complacent, and if you're not in an environment where you can be challenged and have the opportunity, and I don't know that the city is it. I think we're very, very privileged and lucky to be in Maitland, far enough away from Newcastle, and close enough to the wineries.
I have a question. With a lot of businesses these days, you do see that historically, when hiring women, a lot of employees, whether they be male or female, may think, okay, I'm hiring this woman, but depending on her age and her time in life, I might not have her forever, or she might be going away for a while and coming back, having kids, etc. How do you see that, as in giving women the time that they need to have families, going into business plans these days, as opposed to not being a hindrance in business?
Yeah, it is a really good question, and I had 2 brokers go off on maternity leave at the same time, which is quite a challenge. But the world that we are in today, flexibility in a workplace is a must now, and acceptance, and it comes back to the culture of your workplace. If at the top you're going to have that attitude that, you're 9 till 5 and, you work for me, and you're going to attract that type of employee. I think, look, you can't have it all as a business owner. If you want the best, you're going to have to put up with the pregnancies.
Our workplace is very flexible. I have, the 9 of us, we all start and finish at different times, and I've always made it a thing that we need to be there for our families, and our type of work allows us to work from anywhere. I think it's a 2-way street, and I think you get more out of your employees if you give them that flexibility to allow them to be the mum that they want to be as well, and be there for their children or special events and things. But there's also, for me, a lot of mums wanting to come back into the workforce with great skills. That's where I've found most of my team, is through those mums wanting to come in that might just want to do school hours, or they might want to start early, finish early, or some work better later in the day. It's just being flexible, and I think that's when you get the most out of your team.
So we actually, in our workplace, we actually have at Easter, when they have the Easter hat parade, we're very competitive, if you haven't already noticed. But we actually do the Easter hats at work, all of it. And then we actually fight over who goes to the Easter hat parade to see if we win. But to have that, ability to do that with your team in your workplace, like the buy-in from my team is unreal, because I genuinely care about them. I care about their kids, and their life is my life. And when you do go that extra mile, and don't ever put fresh eggs on a hat.
Well, this is where a male-dominated workplace is awesome, because they don't have babies. But we have a family-first policy. So, if it's your son's first soccer game, mate, you've got the day off. If it's a school assembly, take the time out. So we're very family-orientated, and I think that's the difference between me being the manager versus my husband, per se, although he is too, but it's me that says, no, that's important. They're the things you can't miss out on just because I need you at work. I will work for you to do that.
What I find from that is, if we have deadlines, our business and our world is driven by deadlines. So when we hit a deadline, the whole team is first, that I don't have to ask. They chip in and put in extra time if they need it, because they know on the flip side, they have the flexibility to do what they need otherwise. So it does. Yeah. I always say you get out of life what you put into it, and I think that same premise works in a team environment.
Well, thanks again everybody for coming today. If you'd like to mingle around, have a little bit of a chat as well, it'd be fantastic. Continue your networking, talk to someone you haven't spoken to. You never know, it might be the next great business relationship or your next favourite mistake, depending on how you